Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched SmackDown episode 1051 and 205 Live episode 149. It's back. I'm so excited for that. And I saw both of these in person at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I also saw an awesome new show from Spiegelworld. It's at the Venetian in the Grand Canal Shops, kind of tucked away in the back. Like, you have to walk through the entire place to get there. But so I was like cutting it pretty close to get there after SmackDown ended. But as it turned out, a couple of people who were in that show were at SmackDown. I assume they probably didn't stay through all of 205 Live. Because they probably need to get there faster than I did, but or sooner. They probably didn't get there much faster than I did, but they definitely got there sooner by leaving sooner. But anyway, I really recommend this show. It's super fun. It's probably even more raunchy somehow than Opium is, but it's absolutely worth checking out. It's so fun. And if you're not offended by raunchy humor, then definitely give it a shot. You might not think it's if I think the only way you wouldn't enjoy it is if you're offended by it. If you just think it's not funny, there's really amazing acts and entertaining acts throughout the show. So if you can tolerate the raunchy humor, then it's still worth seeing. But if you'll be offended by it, then, get out. I recommend, I had the pew seats. They're like in the, if you look at like the seat map, they're on either side of like the entryway of the stage. And there's aspects of that is really cool. But I felt like there are a few moments and probably a lot of extra stuff that I missed out on, because I would see people go and climb up the ladder to go to this upper stage part, like throughout the show, but once they were up there, could not see them at all. It's all like extra stuff though. None of the actual acts, like the acrobatics or anything like that, take place up there. Or maybe they do. I don't know, because all of the main stuff happens in the center, so you can see that from down there, from the weird pew seats. So, I don't necessarily recommend those, but at the same time, it was still really fun. Next time I go, I'm going to get different seats. It's also really cramped, because it's 3 people to a pew, and it's it's like average size people, and I'm wider than an average person, and there was another person in the set of 3 that was much wider, and so I felt pretty bad for the person in between us, that he just kind of shoved in there. But yeah, it was still enough about this the hip situation. But is really funny. There's all kinds of acrobatic acts. It's all Western themed. It has nothing to do with nuclear testing or anything like that, which I was kind of thought they might go in that direction of like the Fallout Western type of thing, Fallout Vegas even, but it does not have any of that type of stuff in it, despite being called Atomic Saloon Show. So yeah, check it out. I forget how much the tickets were, but they're about the same price, I think, as Opium and Absinthe, but I don't think they're like on sale as much as those are, since it is brand new. But I could be wrong. Maybe it's on sale even more to get more people interested in seeing it. I don't know. Go check it out. It's a Spiegelworld show, and just search for Atomic Saloon Show. That's their Instagram tag as well. They have like all kinds of videos and pictures of the acts and everything. And okay, so this is a spoiler for this show. So I really recommend, if you ever plan on seeing the show, do not listen to this spoiler. Do skip ahead 2-3 minutes. If you skip too far, that's fine, whatever. Because I'm just going to start out talking about Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins anyway, and so if you skip forward and you hear me talking about them, then you know you're good. Okay, spoilers for Atomic Saloon Show. There is a girl like a couple rows in front of me, and throughout the show, she kept like getting up and going to like the bar, and then when she would come back, she would like come across the stage from different angles and everything like that, and it was driving me crazy. And it was and it would always happen when the host, which is this really funny redhead lady, would be doing her thing, and just like, oh, well, make yourself right home, why don't you, and stuff like that. And because in these shows they mess with the audience members and everything, and it totally made sense. They'd be like, what the hell? And it was driving me nuts. And then in the last scene, she disappeared for a while, and then she comes back, but instead of getting back into her seat, she like climbs up onto the railing and started like kind of pole dancing kind of thing. And while like the rest of the cast is like trying to do their finale dance deal, and then the stage director comes out and he's like trying to get her to stop, and she jumps up onto a different part, is dancing some more, and I realized, oh, this is all part of it, because then she starts a fight with somebody, and it turns into a big brawl, and there's all kinds of nuts stuff, great stuff going on there. There's like a slow motion thing. There's Bunraku puppetry in the show. Oh my god! And I can't go into the details of the times when it happens, but it's in there, and I love it, and it's great, and I love it. And there's like a slow motion thing that includes some Bunraku puppetry in there too. So it happens twice in the show. It's amazing. And yeah, I love this show. It's great. I don't know. I'll have to see it one more again from another angle to really stack it up against Opium. But and I have to see Absinthe again too, because Absinthe is really, really good. But man, I totally got worked. I totally got worked by that girl. And that it's great, because that was the professional wrestling element of it, was getting somebody in there to do the part, to both be in the bar fights and to train everybody to do the bar fights, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, awesome. Really awesome. It worked even more so. It was a sustained thing throughout the night. Not just the annoying guy with his camera at the beginning of Ka. That only lasted for like that was about a 5-minute thing, and that totally got me. This was the entire show, and it totally got me. So well done. Well done. I followed a few of the people who are in the show and all of that. None of them have followed me. No, I don't care. I'm not looking for them to follow me. It would be cool if a couple of them did, I think. Not from this show, from other shows. But anyway, it's cool to see all the Las Vegas performers in there. Let's see. Okay, cool. Just looking at the photo. So maybe they trade off so that they don't give it away as much. I don't know, because the wrestler who I follow on Twitter, she's not the same person who is in the audience to do the thing. So I don't know. Anyway. Oh. Oh, that's cool. All right. So go check out Atomic Saloon Show. Now let's talk about the this episode of SmackDown. it's all the hype has been that it's the draft, and that there's going to be all these people from Fox and USA that are part of it. They were not. They were all like in rooms in like reacting to things very briefly with no like as a group, like oh yeah, like or disappointed, that kind of thing. That doesn't count for like having people known from your shows or something like that. I was really disappointed in that. It was just Stephanie coming out and reading a list of 5 names at a time, or 5 team names. So there are a few teams, a couple, like the OC was drafted all in one shot. So that was a great deal from Raw, but for Raw to pick up them. But also apparently, and I'm glad that I didn't ever look at the draft pools, because they messed up and they had the names were in the exact order that they were read for like the first 3 or 4 rounds apparently, and then they mixed it up just a little bit after that, and they changed what was on the sites, so it wasn't in that same order. I don't know. It seems weird to me that the list wouldn't just be in alphabetical order. Also, is thinking back on it last week is really weird that the Street Profits draft report preview, whatever, they talked about 3 people, just 3 people, and they're completely random people that they talked about. It seemed like, because I think it was Chad Gable, who is now Shorty Gable, but he was Chad Gable still at the time. I think it was him, Buddy Murphy, and Drake Maverick, or something like that. Or maybe it was Buddy Murphy, Cedric Alexander, and Drake Maverick. And it was so weird. That's the only time they did that, and it was only those 3 people. And I don't get it. I don't understand what that was about. But I mean, it was obvious what they were doing, but that it was the only 3 people that they did it for. It was really weird. Maybe they called it off when it was like going kind of rough. But before the show started, we had the dark match. Oh wait, if you skipped ahead to this part, I'm not talking about Seth or Roman yet. Now I am, but I'll get to them in just a second. So you are past the Atomic Saloon Show spoilers. Okay, the dark match. Before the show is the B Team versus Heavy Machinery. Heavy Machinery won that match. Then we had Seth versus Roman in an awesome match. I thought if this match had gone to an official conclusion, if it had gone to a pinfall or something like that, and this match was supposed to be, it was unclear as a live audience member that this was the case. I only knew that because I saw that it was been announced as that, like online. But in the arena, there's no mention of it or anything. There were no promos before that, nothing from the ring announcer that the winner would determine who gets the first draft pick, and it doesn't even seem to matter if there was a winner of getting the first draft pick, because it's just 5 names read real quick right off the thing. And yeah, the draft itself, the presentation of the draft was like, it was just really bad. It was, and then the like panel show, they had like a very brief thing with the panelists over on the side. I could kind of see them, not really, but they were the opposite side from me. And so that seemed like that part could be cool, that maybe they could have talked to some of the superstars who were drafted during that or something. And so it was just those people there. I mean, Joe was on there. That seemed good. But we couldn't see what was going on with that. We could hear them, I think, all the times that it happened. We heard them. But they did not show it up on the screen, because I'm sure if people could see up on the screen, they would go over there and try to, like, oh, like behind them, whatever. Some people try to do that anyway. But, yeah. Really disappointing, the draft presentation. They could have did anything different, and it could have been better. I guess they could have done some things different that would make it even worse. But I don't know. So the actual draft aspect, but this opening match was awesome, and it was like pay-per-view quality until the ending was interrupted by the Fiend coming up through the mat and pulling Seth down into hell. And then Seth crawls back out, but gets attacked again. Anyway, or no, he didn't get attacked again. The Fiend was just like peeking out from the hole, like a really disturbing groundhog. And so they had a lot of time to kill to like replace all the stuff for that stuff having happened. So it was the match up until that point was like on fire. Like Seth had countered the spear into a pedigree and stuff like that. It was shaping up really, really good, but yeah, we had the Fiend attack instead, which was cool. I thought it was cool in person. So the first list of names, Becky is the first pick. She goes to Raw. Roman Reigns goes to SmackDown. Orange County, the OC, all three of them go to Raw. Bray Wyatt goes to SmackDown, and Drew McIntyre goes to Raw. Then we had King Corbin versus Chad Gable, Shorty Gable. Corbin wins via an end of days, but this match was another really good one. I know a lot of complaints that they keep having this match, but in my opinion, they have been really good, even though it's mostly Baron Corbin winning them, but like they're still good matches. They're still good matches, and I feel like they're all a little bit different. I'm not as mindful. No, I don't remember specifics of the match enough to point at certain things that evolve from matchup to matchup, but I've enjoyed seeing them fight each other every time. So I'm not in the camp that there seems to be at least a few people online who are just over seeing these two fight, and I like seeing them fight every single time. So there. So then Corbin wins via end of days. I think I already said that. The next batch of draftees is Randy Orton goes to Raw. His first time going to Raw since the initial brand split. So that's interesting. He's appeared on Raw in the last few months, but he's not official. He's still part of SmackDown technically, I guess. He wasn't traded over in the shakeup. That the last few months are weird as far as all this goes. Sasha Banks goes to SmackDown. How about that? Ricochet goes to Raw. Braun Strowman goes to SmackDown. And Lashley goes to Raw. Where will Lana end up? Rusev was not part of this. I assume he's going to go to Raw. But Rusev is not part of the draft pool on this night. I think he's in the draft pool on Monday. Cain Velasquez promises to give Brock a symmetrical face scar. So after they showed the photos from their fight in UFC 121, was it? I don't know. I feel like it was 121. Why would I remember that little I didn't write it down. That's for sure. But it's what it said in the corner. Whatever number it was. Maybe it was 121. I don't know. But after watching that, Brock touched the scar, remembering, and then Kane's promised he's gonna give him one on the other side of his face. So that could be pretty cool if he does. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see at Crown Jewel. New Day versus OC. New Day wins when Kofi hits the Trouble in Paradise on AJ. So that's it. That's a pretty nice ending. But in as far as there's no promos really. Well, there kind of was a promo at the end of the sisters getting the the pink belts. That whole segment was nice. Like their friendship with Xavier Woods, especially, that was really cool to see. But this organization is from what I have read, what I've heard, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, for whatever it's called, is awful. So I'm supportive of those sisters, but I'm not supportive of that organization, and seek out other organizations that mostly use their money that isn't being wasted on lawsuits from Susan G. Komen. Actually use their money to fund cancer research and support survivors and stuff like that, instead of one that uses their money to protect their brand primarily. So yeah. Dude, I haven't read super in depth on it, but I feel like I've read enough to have an idea. Like, yeah, it's a bad. They're doing more bad than good. So yeah. Like to have a it's really exploitative, and it is damaging to other organizations, because it's wasting their funds as well as their own funds on stuff that has nothing to do with actually helping people with breast cancer. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. Anyway, the next batch of draftees, Alexa Bliss goes to Raw. I guess at this point they started changing the order from what was originally on the site or something. I don't know. Lacey Evans goes to SmackDown. Kevin Owens goes to Raw. The Revival goes to SmackDown. They're the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, so that makes sense. So far, nobody has been taken away from the show whose title that they have. Revival technically were never taken off of Raw. They just went after the SmackDown tag titles and got them, and that took them there. So this is like solidifying, yes, they are on SmackDown. That takes them away from Randy. So they're RIP FTRKO. That was such a great couple of weeks that they were together. So I'm glad that we actually got to see the FDRKO or the Shatter KO machine happen a couple of times. And Raw gets Natalya. And then Viking Raider, and then right after this, the last set of draftees, Viking Raiders go to Raw. Lucha House Party goes to SmackDown. Nikki Cross goes to Raw, so Alexa and Nikki can still be together. But that's such a wasted pick for them. They could have drafted them as a team, but I think they couldn't do that because they don't have a team name. That's got to be the only reason that they couldn't do that. Or whatever other reasons. Heavy Machinery goes to SmackDown, and Street Profits go to Raw. So that's awesome for them. That's awesome for them. Street Profits have gotten a lot of street time. They're really entertaining too. And then we go to our main event, Charlotte versus Bayley, where Bayley comes out, gets her Bayley buddies up and at 'em, and then she pulls down her hood to reveal that she's cut her hair, new hair, no more ponytail, and she goes and grabs I thought it was a kendo stick in person, but watching it back, excuse me. Oh, it was like some kind of axe handle, but with razors on the edge, and she used that to murder the Bayley buddies, which was fantastic. And she proceeds to this match was I like this match a lot more than their match at Hell in a Cell, and Bayley wins the championship back, and she addresses the audience at the end of the show, hey, you bitches, screw all of you. It was great. I freaking loved it. It was great. I'm so excited for Bailey. I was thinking like, this is Pam. This isn't Bailey. This is her. This is great. And I kind of want her to change her name, but she'll still be Bailey, I'm sure. Okay, so that this and the opening match, like those two things made SmackDown itself really worth it for me, especially Bailey, evil Bailey. A few weeks at Clash of Champions, I tweeted, I think all the Four Horsewomen are bad people, and yeah, they all are. None of them should be like admired and like supported. I don't think, like as far as like their morals or whatnot. I think yes, they should be supported because they're awesome. They're awesome, and they have great matches and all of that. But yeah, but yeah, the draft was a total dud. But these two matches alone and Bailey were awesome, and I'm so glad that I was there throughout. I was kind of thinking throughout the night, like, why was I shouldn't have come on this trip. It was it was like a 20-hour trip. I got to the airport at like 10:30 a.m. I left it was a 24-hour trip. I left the airport the next day at 10:30 a.m. So it was a quick turnaround there. It was just to see this in Atomic Saloon Show was absolutely worth seeing too. But I wouldn't have flown there just to do that. But if I hadn't gone to SmackDown, I would have gone to another show earlier in the night. But then we had 205 Live. It did happen. And there were 3 matches. We had let's see. Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan defeated Drew Gulak and Tony Nese. That match was great. I had my Oni Rules shirt on. To get to the arena, I went past New York, so I took a picture in front of the Statue of Liberty there and posted a thing with me and the Statue of Liberty throwing up the finger. Ari Daivari defeated some local guy, so good for him. But it was the local guy got some good offense in there. But Daivari is always fun to watch. He's just bagging on Las Vegas. He was like hyping up Las Vegas. He was like, but the great thing is, I get to leave. You guys are stuck living here because you suck. That kind of thing. And then our main event, which was, I don't know exactly what type of match it was, if it was no DQ, if it was a hardcore match, if it was a street fight, or what the stipulation was, or anything. So I was kind of confused when the first kendo stick was used, and the ref was like unflinched, unfettered by the use of kendo sticks. And we're like, oh, okay, it's all legal. All this stuff is legal. So there's all kinds of chair action. I finally got a table out there with a big flying senton through the table. That was amazing. And what was some of the thing? There was some crazy stuff in this match. There's a huge pile of chairs that happened. But Tozawa was about to get another huge flying senton with chairs stacked on top of Brian Kendrick, but Mike Kanellis came and attacked, and so he helped Kendrick get the win because there was no disqualification, so it didn't end the match there. And Brian Kendrick has a new friend in Mike Kanellis, and that could be pretty exciting. The stories are moving along. We are moving forward with stories here on 205 Live, and I'm excited to see what happens next. And what did happen next in the dark match? So I didn't write down notes for this, but I'll try to remember. The match was to be Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. But before they started the match, Drew Gulak and Tony Nese come out. Like, whoa. These people already saw their main event for the night. We come in here, 205 Live, week after week, putting on the best shows and all of that kind of stuff. And as they have them distracted, facing away from the entrance ramp, rambling on about all this, Daivari runs out and attacks. And so they triple team the two of them, and then Mike Kanellis ends up coming out as well, saying, "Oh, you didn't think I'd come back out, what did you?" to all the audience and everything. But he ends up getting hit by a stunner and an RKO, and then Drew Gulak. I'm like super summarizing this. There's a lot of specific things they said that I really liked. But I'm sure somebody uploaded some video of it somewhere. And if not, then I might do that at some point. But anyway, the very last thing that happened was that Drew Gulak got in there and performed CPR on Mike Kanellis to revive him. And that was really great. So it's so great that 205 Live was back. And it was also great that they were part of the Dark main event. And it was like kind of a statement from them that we have the best wrestling of any show consistently every week. They didn't say it in those words, but that's where it was coming from for sure. So, I really enjoyed the night. Completely in spite of the draft itself. All the 205 Live episodes, the entire 205 Live episode is great. So go check it out, dude. That's not part of the catchphrase. Cut it out. That's what I was thinking of, not check it out. I can't think of anything else to say about this. I never saw that original draft pool listing, so I personally don't have Monday spoiled as well. I think from the process of elimination, one could see what could go off of that if there's the same pattern for some reason that they had for the pool for Monday. I don't know, but there are a bunch of people that were not specifically drafted, so apparently they're free agents and they can choose for themselves or whatever, so whatever that means. So we'll find out for sure. When it's all done, we will know what's going on. So that's it for all this. I also watched El Camino. Oh my god, it's amazing. It's really good. It's wonderful. Go watch it. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, go watch El Camino as soon as possible. If you're a Breaking Bad fan, how have you not? You must have already watched it. If you're a Breaking Bad fan who hasn't seen it yet, how is that possible? Maybe you just don't have Netflix. But go borrow a password for a couple hours. It's totally, or just sign up, do the free trial and just watch it. And that's it. That's all you got to do. I recommend watching, did I already talk about? No, I don't think I recorded an episode talking about it yet. Or maybe I did. I don't remember. But I recommend at least watching the finale, but the recap for it that automatically plays when you go to play it, that is really good. That could be just enough anyway by itself, but I think it worked. I watched the final episode before watching it, just that episode, and that was really great. It was it reminded me of everything I felt when I watched that finale originally. So yeah, it's really good. Go watch El Camino. It's better than anything else that I've talked about on this whole episode so far, and anything else I'll talk about in the rest of this episode. So yeah, let me know what you thought about SmackDown 205 Live, Atomic Saloon Show, and El Camino by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye!